I'm going to start this video off with a quick life pro tip about INTPs. The easiest way to know who an INTP is, because they're never going to tell you because they don't have an FI, they don't really know who they are themselves, is to say something completely wrong that goes against all known science. And then TI is going to activate and you're going to start seeing INTPs be emotional. TI seeks knowledge, and if you go against the framework that they built off of whatever knowledge they'd accumulated in this world, they're going to have an emotional reaction to you. INTPs are really funny to INTJs. Let's look at the two pairings in a more macro sense. Out of all the 16 personalities, the INTJ is the nerd of the NI side of the family, whereas the INTP is the nerd of the NE side of the family. And I'm sure there's gonna be ENTPs watching this video thinking,
we're the nerd of the NE side of the family.
No, you're not. No, you're not. INTJs have SE in our fourth slot, and INTPs have FE in the fourth slot. What we value the most in our dominant function is knowledge, and what we ignore the most is people and engaging with the world. INTPs are really funny to me because you guys lead with introverted thinking, which is similar to the ISTPs, but the major difference between the INTP and the ISTP is that the ISTP actually has extroverted sensing in their second slot, which means that they can sense the room. They can sense when they should stop a conversation. But because the INTP doesn't have SE and FE is in their last slot, you guys will just keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about a topic, even when the person that you're talking to is checked out. It's funny, and that's why INTPs have that stereotype of being a lovable nerd, because you guys value information so much that when you find someone that you think is interested, you just keep talking and you're unaware that the conversation should have ended like 10 or 15 minutes ago. The easiest way I can explain the INTJ and the INTP pairing is that it's very, very low maintenance. We have the INTJ that's led with introverted intuition as our first function, more of a philosophy type of person, focusing on what is unknown. And then you have the INTP, who's more of the scientist, who builds a framework based off of what is known. And how it benefits both sides is that the INTP provides variables that the INTJ, when we NI'd, potentially missed. And how it benefits the INTP is that the INTJ provides an idea of the most likely outcome so that the INTP could take that information and improve their framework. Having TI is just funny to an INTJ. You guys have so much information about a topic that INTJs, we think it's pretty much useless until we need it, and then we'll go to you and ask you a question. And for a TI user, you guys might not think you know enough information, because for you guys, anyone could just Google search the answer. But what you don't understand is that that's not something that most people think about. And even when we do Google an answer, the amount of information that you guys are able to retain, or the amount of information that a TE user kind of glosses over, it's completely different. Introverted thinking, you guys actually retain knowledge. One of the easiest examples that I could provide is building a computer. As a TE user, I just need enough information to make a decision. But as a TI user, you guys need to understand how the framework works. So whenever I need to buy a computer, I usually reach out to my two ISTP friend and my INTP friend. And then we're in a group and I'm like, hey guys, I need to buy a computer. Go. And when I say go, they're gonna have a discussion that I know I can't keep up with, because when TI nerds out, TI nerds out. I'm just there watching in amazement. I'm like, how do you guys retain all this information? What I usually do is just provide them the parameters. Hey, this is how much I'm gonna spend. This is what I'm gonna use the computer for. Use your TI and figure out what I should buy. And surely enough, after 50 different messages, they're gonna come to a conclusion and tell me, hey John, buy this, this, and this. And I'm like, perfect, that's what I need, thank you. Now let's go back to what I said earlier about how low maintenance this relationship is. An easy representation of the INTJ and INTP in modern day media is the Big Bang Theory. Leonard's the INTP and Sheldon's the INTJ. I didn't type those characters, what I'm saying is the way that they're portrayed in the show. Let's look at both characters and I'll explain why I believe that they're a good representation of the INTJ and the INTP. INTJs have introverted feeling in our third slot, which means we're a little bit more selfish on the things we do or the people that we engage with. INTPs have extroverted feeling in a fourth slot, which means that they're more harmonious when it comes down to the tribe. Tying that back to the two characters, if you look at Sheldon, Sheldon is always working on self-interest. And when you look at Leonard, Leonard is the reason why the group hangs out. In addition to that, Leonard actually cares about what other people think of him, whereas Sheldon just does what he wants, whatever he wants. Speaking as an INTJ, every relationship that I have with an INTP is very low maintenance. It doesn't require a lot of energy to hang out with you guys. Whenever we're together, you guys talk TI and I talk NI, and we just bounce ideas off of each other. Because NI and TI is always kind of searching for the truth. It makes sense that we have those type of discussions. I think when people look at the cognitive functions between the INTJ and the INTP, they look at NE and NI being a good pairing. I think the best pairing between the INTJ and the INTP is the NI and TI. We're both trying to improve frameworks, but both sides are missing information. TI is missing the unknown, and NI is missing the what is now. And then let's look at our lower functions, because I feel like this is why we hang out. INTJs have extroverted sensing, SE, and INTPs have extroverted feeling, FE. So there are gonna be times where the INTJ tells the INTP,
hey, I need to engage with the world.
whether it's hanging out with other people or going sightseeing or something. And then the INTP is going to be like,
Hey, I feel like being around people.
so yeah, sure, I'll go with you. And then you guys go on your adventures together. It can also work the other way around too, where the INTP reaches out to INTJ,
Hey, I need companionship.
and then INTJ is going to be like,
Actually, yeah, I should engage with the world.
and it just works. We'll go on so many amazing adventures together. There are only a few people that I can travel with, and my INTP friend being one of them. And the next story I'm going to tell you guys, I feel bad because my INTP friend is the only person in my entire life that has ever seen me in my NIFI loop. We were driving to the Grand Canyon one year after we went to Vegas with some friends, and I was stuck in my NIFI loop. So he was stuck with my NIFI loop. We were in a car for 5 hours, and I swear to God, I was annoying him the entire time, just asking him, what about this? What about this? What about this? And he's like, you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it. You're overthinking it. And here I am telling him, I can't help but overthink things at this point. And he's never complained once about it. And I know I was annoying him. I know I'm going to send you this video. I appreciate it, dude. And I have another INTP friend who was more toxic when he was younger. So now that we're in our 30s, whenever we hang out and we're a bit intoxicated, he always talks about how thankful he feels that he found our tribe, because the tribe that he had earlier, he's always regretted their downfall. Which is interesting to me because as an INTJ who has low SI, and having FI instead of FE, whenever I think about the past, I accept that I might be toxic, but at the exact same time, I'm not worried about what they think about me. I'm more worried about how I feel about that situation, whether I should run away from it or actually grow from it. One of the things that most people don't see about the pairing is that the INTJ actually helps the INTP engage with introverted feeling, whereas the INTP helps the INTJ engage with extroverted feeling. When Mama TE leads a conversation instead of Papa NI, SE is in a cage. We don't see how people engage with us. But an INTP that's listening uses extroverted feeling and tells us, yo, chill, calm down. And then when an INTP does something for other people or is working on our project, the INTJ will ask the INTP, hey, do you actually care about that, or are you just doing this? The stereotypes about INTP is that you guys are lone creatures and that you guys don't really care too much about social interaction. I agree with that to a certain extent. However, I'm also in a situation where our INTP friend is the glue that keeps the group together. Ever since I've known this friend, his house has always been home base for us. And when I say us, I'm talking about like 50 plus people. Somehow you have these two nerdy types that are known to be solo with a group of people. And honestly, it's because we have a lot of extroverted friends that just keep meeting other people. But when they meet us, we're kind of furniture to them. It's so funny how the girls see us because they're so comfortable being themselves around us, because to them, we're just us. And for us, we're just like, why are we here? They like our awkwardness. I don't get it. And one of the things that he's unaware of is that the reason why people are comfortable going to his place is because he doesn't make them feel unwanted. Don't get me wrong, he's not the best host. He just has a spot. We bring everything else there. But one of the things that I've noticed is that people are comfortable around him because as an INTP, you guys typically don't like stirring the pot as much as, let's say, an INTJ or an ENTP. Therefore, people are able to project their feelings onto you. And INTPs, I don't know how you guys laugh at jokes that aren't even funny. So my friend is able to make anyone feel comfortable, and that's due to FE. The relationship with the pairing isn't always perfect. To the INTJ, sometimes the INTPs are focused way too much on the details. For the INTP, the INTJs are neglecting way too much details. But there's a certain level of understanding between the two of us. And I'm going to be honest that most of the INTPs that I do communicate with, especially on larger topics such as politics, math, or science, they know their shit. And I'm pretty sure they leave the conversation thinking, man, the INTJ is wrong, but he won't admit it. Guess what, dude? We don't think we're wrong, because what the INTJ is doing after the conversation is we have to look at it from multiple different perspectives to admit that we're wrong. INTJs, we want to be wrong. The thing is, the INTJ is able to see so many different ways of viewing something. We won't admit that we're wrong unless we know that we're wrong in most logical situations. And NI doesn't work that fast. So you can't expect an INTJ to immediately concede to a certain thought that goes against what they originally thought, because we need time to actually think about it. Which is similar to an INTP. Whenever you guys gain new information, you still need time to see how it fits into all the framework. In regards to relationships, I don't know who's gonna make the first move. Speaking personally for myself, I'm not gonna make the move on an INTP. And hearing from other INTPs, they typically don't make the first move. Yes, I've been interested in INTP ladies. I just don't know how to approach them because I value our friendship so much that I'm afraid that if I say something wrong, then that friendship won't be there anymore. And the difference between an INTP friendship as opposed to all these other friendships is that you're a mind mate, and INTJs want mind mates. So when it comes down to relationships, there are a few subscribers to this channel that are INTPs or INTJs dating the opposite type. So if you have any questions, ask them. I'm sure they're more than happy to answer. To conclude this video, the INTP and the INTJ, we're nerds united, and I fucking love it. It's such a low maintenance relationship where we don't really have to do much and we're gonna be friends. We're friends that are understanding. We're able to talk about things without any of our feelings getting hurt. It's such a low maintenance relationship, and also we also have someone who, whenever we need to exercise our fourth function, that person is usually up to engage with our fourth function. INTPs, INTJs appreciate you guys so much. You guys are able to keep up with us mentally. You guys are able to elevate our understanding of the world, and you guys are so easy to be around. Thank you, INTPs. And that's all for this video. Leave a comment if you're an INTP or INTJ that has an INTP or INTJ friend. It's a great pairing, and I know it's out there everywhere. Show your appreciation in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching this video.